I didn't even get to the kicking.
The kicking. Go at it. The kicking.
No, I'm just
missing field goals. You know what I was going to go for, Cam? I was going to go for the other kicking. The punting was fine. You pinned him twice inside the 5.
The punting's fantastic. Lewis Headley.
And you didn't keep them there. So the one time they got it out to like the 40-45 to flip field position. The other time they went on a scoring drive.
Right.
After you pinned them inside the 5. 2 consecutive drives. I think 2 consecutive within close proximity of each other. Right. Yeah. And the defense let you down there.
I mean, it wasn't where it needed to be for sure. But yeah, Lewis Headley, honestly, at this point of the year, is the team MVP. And I do not say that tongue in cheek. I do not say that facetiously at all. He's been the best player on his team. And he had, all 3 of his punts were inside the 20. Those 2 were inside the 5. He had a 67-yarder that was a kick and roll that was outstanding. He's been great. Miami missed 3 field goals. Turner Davidson, he comes in for a 34-yarder after, being great, in the last couple of games and everything. And he hit one that looked like me out there trying to kick a field goal. That was not good. So then you're like, okay, well, that good story went to by the wayside, even though he did make his extra points. So the next time you bring out Bubba Baxa for a short field goal. Give him another shot from the right hash where he can't make angled kicks. So what does he not do? Make an angled kick. Wide right. He kicked it dead straight, but the hash mark is outside the goalpost. So then on the last drive, you decide to play for a field goal with Turner Davidson, and he kicks it about 2 feet off the ground and gets it blocked. Why are you playing for field goals? And in the last 2 drives in the fourth quarter, the first play was on the penultimate drive was a 42-yard run by Cam Harris off the left side. On the final drive, it was a 50-yard play action from Nkosi to D. Wiggins over the top.
We have Newport Kane on the line asking about the availability of Deejay Dallas for this week.
Deejay Dallas is going to travel to Pittsburgh. I am not sure that he's going to play. If he plays, I think it's going to be limited. I think we're going to go with Cam Harris as starting running back and, maybe mix in a little bit of Deejay Dallas depending on his health and availability, maybe mix in some Robert Burns as well. Lorenzo Lingard, he can travel. He can still play snaps. He hasn't played in games where, one game would affect his redshirt status. So, that's what I think about that. Jeff Thomas is still suspended this week. He'll be back next week for Florida State. And Zach McLeod is going to start at weak side linebacker because we need a scholarship player to play starting linebacker. So this is Zach McLeod's 4th game. So he will have no more games to play and maintain his red shirt to return next year. So just keep that in mind. Michael Pinckney, I believe, is going to be out for this game. And that's why Zach McLeod is going to start. So rubber is going to meet road next week against Florida State, where and that's the preview because next week is Florida State in November. So, we'll really see where Pinckney is. And then that's really going to be decision time. And I know that, Zach McLeod did not play in a couple early games, or a couple recent games, I should say, to maintain his redshirt status. But depending on how 56 is feeling next week, maybe Zach McLeod, he might have to make a personal decision and leave the program or something for the rest of the season because we can't be running out walk-on linebackers. I'm sorry. And I'm not sorry to say that. At the University of Miami, walk-ons should not be playing meaningful snaps at any time ever. So you got to do what you got to do. And we'll see. So that's the injury update. No quarterback has been named as the starter. Manny Diaz said he's going to make that decision tomorrow. I find it curious, however, that at the Monday press conferences, Dan Enos came out immediately and said that Nkosi Perry separated his left shoulder on that hit in the Georgia Tech game when he went out for a couple plays. But it's been 6 weeks, and all we've heard about Jarren Williams is an upper extremity injury. But we're delineating clearly and decisively what Nkosi Perry's injury is. And again, and people are like, oh, well, if you watched the game, you saw that. I'm the one who was telling you that his arm was dangling and he's not right, Jarren Williams with his shoulder. I'm not sitting here and saying everything is fine and there's nothing going on. I'm saying from an optics standpoint, for one player, you hide behind university policy, and university policy or athletic department football program policy for years has been upper extremity, lower extremity, or head. Those are the only three areas that they will say a player has an injury, regardless of what it is. So you do that same engagement that you've done for many a year for Jarren Williams, but then for N'Kosi Perry, you go out immediately in public in front of all the media on live stream talking about, oh, this is what the injury is. That is curious to me.